Hi guys, it's Grace. I'm here again with another video to tell you a little bit more about my weight loss journey in the hope that it will be able to help some of you with yours. When I heard about the concept of calorie density rather than calorie counting, it really was a light bulb moment, and it really helps me to think about calories in a more healthy way. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, I'm so happy that you have decided to watch another video. Today, I want to speak to you again about calorie density. I want to basically show you and explain to you how I have managed to do away with my sort of fear or adverse thinking about calorie counting and incorporate calorie density into my weight loss journey to help me to achieve the results that you are seeing. So the reason why I want to talk specifically about calorie density and calorie counting is because if any of you are anything like me, in your previous tries of embarking on a weight loss journey, you have probably thought about considering whether you wanted to calorie count. And if you were anything like me, you had thought to yourself that no, this is not something that you want to be doing, even in the short term, because when I think of calorie counting, I'm thinking of that day to day and meal to meal measuring, weighing, and then looking up each item to see how much calories there are in that item. That was not what I wanted to do. I felt like that would not be sustainable for me and that it may cause me to become a bit obsessive. So when I heard about the concept of calorie density rather than calorie counting, it really was a light bulb moment, and it really helps me to think about calories in a more healthy way. And that's why I want to share this information with you today, because I feel like if you become more aware of calorie density, it might help anyone who may have previously really not wanted to think about calories in a more healthy way. So for me, I feel like calories, I like to think of them as energy. I know my body needs energy for everything that it needs to do. And so calories should be something neutral. They should be something that I can think about in a beneficial way, knowing that I am using the energy in food to fuel my body and the things that it needs to do and the things that I want it to do. So first of all, I don't think that there's anything wrong with calorie counting. And I think that if you are somebody who is able to do it in a healthy way and it aids you in your weight loss journey, then, that is what you should do. Everybody's weight loss journey is going to be unique to them. And it's really important that they do the things that are sustainable for them, that are comfortable for them, and that are beneficial for them. So I'm not trying to villainize calorie counting because it does work for some people. And as with most things in life, some things will work for some people and not work for others. So for me, I knew that specific calorie counting of each ingredient or each part of my meal was not going to work. However, I want to talk to you about what not being willing to think about calories at all, what effect that had for me in the early stages of my weight loss journey. So if some of you have watched some of my previous videos, you may remember that I said to you that in the beginning of my weight loss journey, my first endeavor was to clean up my diet. And I have had a massive change in my diet because I changed from a standard diet to a plant-based diet. Now, what I had not fully understood, and I guess what I was kind of running away from in the beginning, is that all foods contain calories, all foods contain energy. So me not wanting to think about calories and thinking that because I had transitioned to a whole food plant-based diet that I wouldn't need to, and that I could eat anything that I wanted to within the whole food plant-based foods, and as much of it as I wanted, soon became one of the setbacks in the early stages of my weight loss journey. So for example, a lot of you will have heard me and you will have seen the plantain bread that is such a staple within my diet. And I've spoken before about it, of how much I have come to love this plantain bread and how much it has helped me to look forward to my breakfast and so on. Now, what I haven't told you is that initially that plantain bread was a banana bread recipe that I had found on the internet. And this banana bread recipe, I decided to try it because I was struggling a bit with my breakfast and I felt like I wanted more of a sort of cakey, bready texture to my breakfast. So I had gone ahead and I had followed this recipe for banana bread. And I had thought that because all of the ingredients for the banana bread were whole ingredients, that it should be fine for me to eat as much of this banana bread and the other things that I was eating it with, which were fruit, until I was feeling satisfied. However, over the next few days and weeks, what I realized is that my weight loss had started to slow down. And that really confused me, because I had felt like as long as I was eating these whole plant foods, then I should be able to eat them in relative abundance and I should still be able to lose the weight that I wanted to lose. However, once I realized that that wasn't happening, and I knew that the change that I had made was to be eating this banana bread in quite large quantities, I then went back to the drawing board and I went back to my research. And what I found was, although the ingredients of the banana bread in and of themselves were wonderful, whole, healthy foods for my body, some of the ingredients, including the 100% peanut butter, were very high calorie density foods. And so using these ingredients in the quantities that I was using them in to make the banana bread meant that although it was healthy, although it was made of whole foods, it was not sufficiently low in calorie density to help me to overall lower my level of calories so that I could be within the range of weight loss. Now, for me, I feel like it's really, really important for us to understand that the main key to losing weight is being in a calorie deficit. That is an absolute must. It is a necessity. None of us can get away from that. In order for your body to reach for your fat stores, you have to be in a calorie deficit. And so if you are not aware of your calorie intake, if you are not aware of where your calories have to be on a day-to-day level in order for you to be in a calorie deficit, it makes it very difficult for you to be able to make the type of food choices that will allow you to be in a calorie deficit and therefore see fat loss. Now, at the beginning of my journey, I think I understood that I needed to clean up my diet. I understood that I needed to eat more healthily. I understood that I needed to make better food choices, but I had not truly understood the necessity for a calorie deficit. And then once I did understand the necessity for a calorie deficit, I then had to learn that in order for me to be able to be in the type of calorie deficit that I wanted to be in order to see the fat loss that I wanted to see, then I needed to be aware of calorie density. The reason why I needed to be aware of calorie density rather than calorie counting is because of the volumes of food that I like to eat. I would say that I am a volume eater. If you go and you have a look at my Instagram, some of you may be surprised at the portion sizes that I normally eat. But this large portions that I eat is something that started well in my childhood and has followed me throughout childhood, teenage and adulthood. And to me, I feel like it's something so fundamental, so foundational to the way that I eat, that if I tried to change this, the likelihood is that I am more than not likely to want to return back to eating the amount of portion size that I have been used to and have become accustomed to over the years. I'm not saying that I can't change it, because that's another thing that I have tried to remove from my vocabulary. I don't believe that there's anything that I can't do. I feel like if I was very, very determined and it was something that I felt was important, then I would be able to do it. However, I have been able to find a way that I don't have to make that change, and therefore I don't choose to make that change, because I have found that by taking into account and being aware of calorie density, I'm still able to eat the large portion sizes that I'm accustomed to, and that for me help me to feel satisfied and well nourished. So taking that into mind, if I think about calorie counting versus calorie density, if I was in a situation where I had to be weighing my food, where I had to be looking up the calories in my food every time I wanted to eat, I do not think that that is something that would be sustainable for me. However, when you think about calorie density, the only necessity, or the main necessity in terms of thinking about calorie density, is knowing which food groups fall into those lower calorie density ranges and allow you to eat more of said foods. So I've discussed in previous videos that the lowest calorie density foods on the planet are your non-starchy vegetables. Those, if you only ate non-starchy vegetables, if that was the only thing you ate, and I'm not suggesting that that's what you should do, because I do believe that you truly need variety in your diet, and I would not suggest that anybody should try eating only non-starchy vegetables. However, if that was what somebody was to do, it would be incredibly difficult for that person to be overweight. And the reason why that is because these foods are so low in calorie density, you would have to eat a vast amount of them in order to meet your daily calorie needs, even being in a calorie deficit. So I feel like if you are aware, if you are informed, if you have researched and you are comfortable in the knowledge of what foods you're able to eat in relative abundance, and then you look at your diet as a whole and you pair these foods with your low, your medium, and even if you want to include some higher calorie density foods, you incorporate them in a more minimal way, knowing that overall your diet is very low calorie density, then I think you will find yourself in a position where you're being able to stay in your chosen calorie deficit is a much easier, a much smoother process. I truly believe that it is up to each individual to choose how they are going to manage their calorie deficit. I believe that it is up to each individual to choose what their diet is going to look like. But I feel like being informed about where you are in the very beginning of your journey. So for instance, once I realized that I just could not go ahead and eat as much whole plant foods as I wanted and still lose weight, the next thing that I did was go and try to find out, for my body, for my age, for my height, what would be a reasonable calorie deficit for me to be able to see the fat loss that I wanted to see. So that was my first port of call, and I would highly recommend that each of you also do that, because I feel like when I was eating a standard diet, I had absolutely no clue how many calories I was intaking each day. I didn't look at the calories on the back of any of the food that I was eating. I didn't even consider the amount of calories that I was consuming. All I knew was the food that I was eating was causing me to put on weight week to week, month to month, year to year. But it just didn't click in my mind at that time that it could be that the amount of energy that I was intaking was far beyond what I was expending each day, and therefore I was leaving myself in a calorie surplus all the time. So when I realized that it was important for me to recognize and to know how many calories I would need in order to be in a calorie deficit, I went ahead and I found that out. So once I found that out, I had a sort of ballpark figure to let me know that if I wanted to lose weight, which I did, or fat rather, then I would need to make sure that my diet allowed me to be in this calorie deficit level. And I could see that because of the portions of food that I wanted to eat, it would be much easier for me to apply the concept of calorie density than apply the concept of calorie counting. Often, when I have observed and looked at how people speak about calorie counting, they will often say things like, if you calorie count, it means that you can eat anything that you want as long as it fits into the level of calories that you are trying to hit for that day. And oftentimes what they're saying is that if you want to eat more high calorie density foods, or if you want to eat more processed foods, you can still fit those things into your diet as long as they fit into your calorie deficit. Now, I feel like that is all well and good in terms of making people feel like they have choice. But I don't feel like, for me, that presented a very sustainable way of losing weight or of moving forward into a new healthy way of eating that was going to help to sustain that weight loss in the long term. Because for me, my understanding is the effect of eating a lot of highly processed foods is that they will continually trigger your hunger cues, your cravings, and things of that nature. And in general, what I wanted to do was find myself in a place where I was eating in a way where I was lessening cravings, where I was lessening unnecessary hunger. I wanted to be able to nourish my body, to eat in a very nutrient dense way so that I was giving my body all that it needs for it to help me to feel energized, for it to help me to feel like I was truly nourishing my body so that my body could nourish me. And so I feel like calorie density has been the thing that has been able to do that for me. And I feel like I keep going on about it so much because it has made such a significant difference to my weight loss journey. It has made such a significant difference to the way I feel about the way I'm eating going forward in life. It has made such a significant difference to me feeling like this weight loss journey is actually a lifestyle change. It has given me power and the control back in terms of my eating habits and in terms of my health, because I know that I can eat in a healthy and sustainable way that is going to help me to achieve and maintain a lean, healthy physique, and that is what I'm looking for. So I hope that I have been able to explain the real benefit of recognizing the difference between calorie counting and calorie deficit. I hope that what you would take away from this video is that calories should not be something that we are scared of, and calories should not be something that we obsess over, but they are certainly something that we should be aware of, and that if like me, you like to eat larger portions of food, if you can apply the concept of calorie density to the way that you eat, that will make it far easier for you to be able to stay in your calorie deficit and see those results that you're wanting to see in terms of your fat loss. I really thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, if you feel like you would like some clarification on anything that I have said, if you want to discuss the concepts of calorie counting and calorie density further, I'm really open to that. I would love to hear what you have to say about it in the comment section. What has been your own experience of calorie counting, whether you've found it useful or whether you've been able to apply it and see success. If you've applied the concept of calorie density and been able to see success, I really hope that we will be able to share this knowledge together and really see progress together. I know that I keep mentioning this concept, and again I say it is truly because of just how fundamental and helpful and beneficial it has been to my own journey, and I'm just hoping that for all of you guys out there who perhaps have been struggling with trying to lose weight over a long period of time, and you're giving it another try and you're trying to find the best ways to do it and the most sustainable ways to do it, that this video will be helpful to you in being able to take control, in being able to feel informed. And if you watch this video and you go ahead and you click on the links in the description box to gain a wider, more scientific idea of calorie density and how it works, and then go on to do further research and then able to apply it, I really hope that you'll be able to come back and share with us how your journey has gone and what you've learned and how you've applied it and personalized it for your own journey. Guys, this weight loss journey is such an interesting journey, such a transformative journey. It's something that I feel really passionate about in terms of just how much change and benefit it has brought to my life. And I really hope that these videos are also helping and giving you guys ideas of things that may help you in your journeys. So I thank you for watching this video. I ask that if you've gained anything useful from this video, that you'd give me a like. If you'd like to continue hearing from me, please press that subscribe button, and I'll hope to see you in the next one.